Looks like it's gonna be pretty nice today. Alright. So today, well, I guess I'm working on the wire in this fence. I've got the, had it all just sitting up here, you know, keeping the chickens out and rabbits and all that. All it's gonna take is one good wind. Blow this stuff right over. Get out of here and wire it, but I wanted to get on here today mostly because today, May 1st, is the day they're switching your fuel to 15% ethanol. And a warning. Warning. You do not want to run 15% ethanol in your vehicle. I personally think one of the reasons they're doing it is to get these old rigs off the road. You know, they say, oh, it's going to make gas prices, stretch out our gas price, or gas, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They can say whatever they want. Crazy cat. But I don't think that's it at all. So 15% ethanol, man, that will it will clog. It's moonshine, man, moonshine whiskey. You know, that's basically what it is. Yeah. Corn fuel, moonshine. You don't want to run that in your vehicle, man. It'll run too hot, burn up your seals, clog it. You know, I'm no mechanic, man. It'll do all kinds of crap to your rig, though. So my question is, I was just in there talking to Miss Kitty about it. My question was, I think I had a telephone pole. The question for her was, weirdest dang chicken wire I ever did. See, got a nice for cutting. Sorry. My question for her was, you know, are they going to change the fuel? You know, it's not going to get instantly, you know, you got tanks full or whatever, so it's not going to be instantly done. Or did they start putting it in there last week and haven't changed the tags? Me? I don't know what the last time I got fuel was. Miss Kitty's car. And then my truck, I got fuel before we went mushroom hunting. And I debated on getting ethanol free then. Seeing, for us, there's 2 gas stations within a few miles of us. One doesn't carry ethanol free, the other one carries ethanol free. So, I don't know, I haven't looked at the gauge or anything, but we're going to be going down, getting supplies here in a few days. So I'll top it off, but from now on, I'm going ethanol free. I read in Kitty's, you know, the manual or book or whatever, on her car, and it says you can run up to the 15% ethanol gas, but to use the high grade, you know, which is 5 something a gallon. Well, if I'm going to pay 5 something a gallon, I might as well buy the, you know, because ethanol's or ethanol free is probably, I don't know, at least $1 more a gallon. Man, the sun came out, it's starting to warm up. So, I ain't trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do. And me, heck, the green bean, my old Dodge, they won't even run on that ethanol crap. Those are, what's the green bean? 1980 or 81, I think, is the green bean. And my van's, I'm getting mixed up. My van, and then I got my Power Wagon truck. One's a 72, one's a 77. They won't run on that ethanol crap. Not only that, if you let that stuff sit, the shelf life of that is nothing, man. It turns to just gum. Not even gum, man. It's not like old fuel, where you get that stagnant smell. This stuff just turns to sludge. Don't run that crap in your car. I'm telling you, man. And, I had one guy saying, well, I'm just going to put that stabilizer or whatever the heck it's called, and it's, I don't know, 10 or 15 bucks, for a thing of that. So you put that in. Why not? So you add that up to add it onto your fuel and to try to save on the fuel, but you're still making up for it on buying the whatever you put in there. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Now, one of the problems is going to be, I don't know how many road trips. I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of just watching to see what's happening in this crazy world before I plan anything. If I do any trips. I mean, for us to go get supplies, that's Walmart's, I don't know, almost a 200-mile round trip just to go to Walmart. And there is ethanol. You can find ethanol-free fuel down there. What I was getting at is I don't know about getting ethanol-free fuel if you did take a road trip. Definitely something that you would want to research. I know that there's some ethanol-free fuel in Grangeville, because I've got it there before. That's when I was driving that Sienna van. I ran ethanol-free fuel only in that. That was before they started changing this to 15%. I know, man, I know. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And it all costs you money. It don't matter what the heck it is. Oh, and then yesterday or last night, I had a message just down here, not very dang far. They got a cougar, mountain lion running around. We've had them on the creek bottom before. And then Bo and Lady were going crazy about 3 o'clock in the morning. So was it the mountain lion? I don't know. I sure ain't going out in the dark with a flashlight looking for it. That's of all the things in these here mountains. Nothing. Me and Sasquatch, we friends. Of all the things in these mountains, one thing that, if anything, I wouldn't say scares me, but definitely puts me on alert is the mountain lion, the cougar. That, was it 2 years ago, I think, that we were up running fish fences. And if I remember right, I just stepped in a big old mud hole or something. Oh man, all over my shoes and everything. and looked up, and all I seen was a tail. You know, and there ain't nothing else in these hills that's got a tail like that, man. And the first thing I did, start hollering for Kai, because he was out running around. And he never even smelt it or nothing. And I was on my e-bike. So I was like a little mouse pedaling mouse down the road. And if I wouldn't have had to go through that mud hole, I would have went right by where I seen him coming out of. So hopefully, he just moseys on. Well, he just gets back up in the mountains where he belongs. So now, on the darker side, sad to say, I was listening or watching or whatever, some things yesterday. You know, somebody this morning accused me, you're just a fear monger. Dude, it ain't fear mongering if it's true. And this crap is true. It is like living in another dimension. But check this out.
This week, Maine's governor vetoed a bill that would have made the state the first to ban construction of new data centers. As CBS's Chanel Call reports, the move comes at a time of growing resistance in several states to the booming artificial intelligence industry.
I keep the doors closed all the time.
It's a sunny afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. But inside Carolyn Kane's 3,000 square foot home, it's cold.
I'm walking around in a ski suit, trying to stay warm in the winter. My fur jackets.
It's just one of the ways Kane has tried to beat her skyrocketing electric bills. So effectively your bill had almost doubled in like 2 years.
Yeah.
She's now turned off her heat and water, leaving much of this home hard to live in. So where do you live right now?
I live in a little apartment in the back.
Is Carolyn's story unique?
Carolyn's story is not unique. So this is the data center, and I'd like you to...
Patty Duran founded nonprofit advocacy group Georgians for Affordable Energy. She's been tracking the cost of electricity in the state for over a decade.
The average bill for an average customer used to be about $150 a month. The average bill now is $225.
A CBS News analysis found Georgia Power, the largest energy provider in the state, imposed 6 rate hikes in the last 3 years, during which time the Vogtle nuclear power plant came online and Georgia saw a boom in data centers. Data centers, Duran says, came to Georgia for discounted power. So data centers are actually paying less for electricity than residents? Across the country, new data centers are driving up utility bills in at least 13 states. This analysis found Americans who live near data centers are paying as much as 267% more for energy than 5 years ago. And in the next 5 years, the amount of energy consumed by commercial buildings like data centers in Georgia will more than double.
Data centers will add billions of dollars to costs to electricity rates in Georgia if we don't get better protection than we have right now.
Within the last year, Georgia Power announced a rate freeze and agreed to use revenue from large customers like data centers to lower costs for residents. Georgia Power denies passing the cost of data centers on to others.
There is no risk that residential customers will end up paying for the costs of this large growth, including data centers.
But for Georgians like Kane, already taking extreme measures,
I guess maybe it is time, give up my home.
it might be too late.
Up 267% in 5 years. What the heck? Now, so after me and Miss Kitty caught that, we'd heard out there in Kuna, Idaho, which is right out of Boise, we heard that they were building a, whatever they call them. It's Meta is what it is, which is Facebook. But we heard they were building one of them data centers, so we looked into it. And lo and behold, Meta, formerly Facebook, is building a massive $900 million 96,000 square foot AI focused data center in Kuna, Idaho, located near Cole and Cunamore roads. The facility expected to open in late 2026, and it's saying create 100 permanent jobs. You sure about that? Or is that going to be AI? And it's supported by a 200 megawatt solar plant. A second separate 620 acre data center project is also planned for the area. So, Kuna, Idaho, if you looked at that map when they were showing all that, them data centers or whatever they call them, that was all in the east, and that's where everybody's power. Man, you can get on here and there's people freaking out about power bills, going from 140, 50 bucks a month to $800 or $900 a month. And those, they're building those facilities in places where the power's cheap, so this one's going to open in 2026. Does that mean Idaho Power, all of a sudden, all of our power is going to go up because they're building those? Keep your head on a swivel. At least you can see it coming. There probably ain't much you can do about any of this. Definitely check in. Don't use that 15% ethanol fuel, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're saying, oh, you can run this in your car as long as you use that high grade kind and stuff, and then you're, what, $6 a gallon? I don't know. Oh, I just wanted to get on here mostly to tell you, today, man, it starts today. How long is it going to take them to switch them tags and all that? Who knows, man. But personally, me, from this day forward, I'm just going with ethanol free. Good Lord willing. And them creeks don't rise. We'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.